Welcome into another video. This time we're going over tight ends. Y'all, I have 13 tight ends that's coming up here in the 2024 NFL draft that I want to talk about that could be fantasy relevant for your team. I want to talk about things that I do like and talk about things that I don't like about each and every player. Can't wait to get into this video. Let's get into it. All right, the first guy we're talking about here is going to be Brock Bowers, a tight end out of Georgia, 6'4", 240 pounds, 56 receptions, 713 yards, 6 touchdowns, which gave him a 12.1 average per reception. This guy is the baby Gronk. Everybody knows it. It is what it is. He's been the best tight end in college football since he was a freshman. He could be a top 15 NFL pick, which would be so good for this guy. I truly expect that he's going to be a phenomenal talent in the NFL. He is extremely athletic, a freak of nature in the pass game, soft hands, good tracking ability. He's able to win in contested catch situations, outstanding play strength, and body control. He's got that relentless motor and energy, great catch radius. He asserts that dominance at the catch point. Some things, if you want to put some negativities on Brock Bowers' amazingness, he really struggles in the run blocking situation. He's an undersized as an average NFL tight end, 6'4", 240, and he runs a little bit upright instead of having a solid bend. And his route running could really improve with some more development. Last but not least, he kind of struggled a little bit in the past, in the press man coverage. But overall, don't get it twisted. What I'm not saying, Brock Bowers is phenomenal, and he's going to be a great NFL tight end and fantasy tight end. So, next guy I'm talking about here is Ja'Tavion Sanders out of Texas, 6'4", 243 pounds, 45 receptions, 682 yards, 2 touchdowns, give him a 15.2 average per catch. He's projected to run a 4.5 speed at the combine. He's extremely athletic tight end. That's going to be a nightmare against opposing linebackers. A very good route runner, right? Excellent open field blocker, extremely reliable receiver, outstanding ability to high point the football, great deep speed and agility as a route runner, right? So really effective after the catch. But I like to see that. I could see him catch some more screen passes, right? I could see some tight end screens in his future, right? So that's what I'm trying to say here. He's able to get off the line of scrimmage. He can beat press coverage really easily. Soft hands, and he rarely drops the ball. He's a very, very confident receiver. But if you want to talk about some negatives, he's not really good as a pass blocker. Probably, again, the 6'4". It doesn't really help him out too much. Struggles against defensive ends, and he needs to develop that in order to stay on the field more. If you can't block, you're only going to be on there in passing situations. So Ja'Tavion Sanders, way too talented not to develop that. I think he'll be okay. Next guy I'm talking about here is Cade Stover out of Ohio State, 6'4", 251 pounds, 41 receptions, 576 yards, 5 touchdowns, gave him a 14 average per reception. He's an excellent blocker. Excellent blocker. He's quick for his size, very agile, able to hurdle defenders in space, explosive enough to get past linebackers, reliable pass catcher with soft hands. Like to see what Cade Stover offers. I loved watching his film. Physical after the catch, finishes forward against contact, so he's always falling forward to get extra yardage. Right, so he doesn't have that blazing speed though. He's not an elite athlete. He needs to have a bigger catch radius, but the ball needs to be on point really for him to be coming down with it. He's not really going to make a spectacular play out there, and it is what it is. It is what it is. You got to put it on point, but I think he'll be fine. So if we look at the next tight end, we're talking about Ben Sinnott. It's Kansas State, 6'4", 245 pounds, 49 receptions, 676 yards, 6 touchdowns, give him a 13.8 average per reception. Good combination of size, strength, and explosion. He can go up and high point the football, which I really like to see. He's going to block multiple defenders if he can. He wants one block, wants two block. He wants to make a big play. Very coordinated hands catcher who can dig out low throws. He can get in and out of cuts and create separation. Very violent runner as he catches and he just seeks out contact anywhere he can. He will lower his shoulder and try to truck you. One thing I didn't like about Ben, he just drops too many balls for my comfort level, right? He needs more concentration. He struggles against press coverage and he lacks that elite top end speed. Next tight end we're talking about here is Theo Johnson out of Penn State, 6'6", 264 pounds, 34 receptions, 341 yards, 7 touchdowns, give him a 10-yard average per reception. He's got very reliable hands. He's got the willingness to make the catches in traffic, which I like. Aggression with the run and catch ability. Johnson runs like a wide receiver with exceptional quickness and body control. He's got explosive off the line of scrimmage. He's got soft hands, good concentration. He wasn't a spread offense in Penn State, so we gotta recognize that he wasn't a traditional tight end there. So he's gonna need to develop that NFL type of play calling, which I think he can do. He needs some work as a blocker too. He needs more strength to really help with that blocking. And he's not a lot of production really in college football. The one thing I'd see, you look at this guy as a freak of nature, and he just didn't produce in college football. Again, maybe it was the Penn State offense. I don't know. I'm basing off of his athletic traits and his abilities that I saw. When given the opportunities, I think Theo Johnson could be a nice tight end in the NFL. Next tight end that we're talking about here is Jared Wiley out of TCU, 6'7", 260 pounds, 47 receptions, 520 yards, and 8 touchdowns, 11.1 average per reception. Great second level blocker, really, which helps him get on the field more. Natural playmaker with the ball in his hands. Good route running, which keeps defenders guessing. Good strength with the ability to run through arm tackles. I saw that plenty of times. Can easily find the soft spots in zone coverage, which is not what a lot of tight ends can do nowadays for some odd reason, but Jared Wiley can definitely do that. Big body tight end, makes it easy to really jock for position on those 50-50 balls. Good quickness for his size, and he can be elite with more development. He needs to develop, but he can be elite in my opinion. He needs to be more comfortable catching and gathering and then transitioning into a runner, right? That's the one thing that I want to talk about Jared Wiley as, right? You want to be able to have somebody, once he gets the football, to be able to make something happen and not just catch the football and fall down, right? We want those yak yards, right? That's what helps us in fantasy football. Jared Wiley needs to do better at developing that. So we were along to the next tight end, Brevin Spanford out of Minnesota, 6'7", 270-pound freak. 225 receptions, 239 yards, 2 touchdowns, given 9.6 average per reception. He's got natural pass catching ability, right? Consistently making clean catches, good strength. As I see him breaking arm tackles all the time, it's amazing. I just love watching the guy play. Nice contested catch ability. Can use his size to really high point the football. Great hands at the line of scrimmage. Really punch the defender to help him get a clean release. I would like to see him bend more at his hips. He's a bit too upright for me when he's running. Doesn't create much separation from the defenders, probably because he just lacks that overall speed. He's more kind of quick than fast, you know what I mean? So let's talk about the next tight end here. Talk about Dallin Hooker. He's out of Colorado State, 6'5", 235 pounds, 64 receptions, 767 yards, and 6 touchdowns, 12 average per catch. He's got a very good catch radius. I like to watch this guy play. Excellent receiving skills with reliable hands, good route runner, can easily separate from defenders. He's been effective in the red zone as well, so decent in both pass and run blocking situations. That's going to help him get on the field a lot. He does need to improve on his explosiveness, though. He lacks elite speed. It's difficult for him to really stretch the field vertically. He may have a problem with press coverage at the NFL level as well. So let's go over the next guy here. We're talking about Jaheim Bell at Florida State, 6'3", 239 yards, 39 pounds, excuse me. He had 39 receptions, 503 pounds. Gee, look, I'm just jacking all this up. 39 receptions, 503 yards, 2 touchdowns, 12.9 average per reception. He's great in the open field, right? He's got great speed in that open field as well. He can outrun linebackers or safeties or anything like that. He has exceptional agility for a tight end. But being at 6'3", is he really a tight end? I don't know. He's got the yards after the catch threat, impressive ball tracking, and he can come down with difficult catches. He runs those cross routes with ease and effective. He runs those wheel routes with ease and effectiveness. I love that. I've seen good contact balance as well. Being at 6'3", you'd think he'd be tackled easy. No, not really. Jaheim Bell, I have him lower here. A lot of people have him in as top 5. I don't. It's 6'3" at a tight end. Not really a tight end you want to see out there on your fantasy team. He just needs to get better at blocking and give himself more on the field opportunity. He gets overpowered often. I wonder why. Oh yeah, probably 6'3" and getting mauled by 6'6" people. So Jaheim Bell, I think he'll be okay if he's playing like as a slot type wide receiver role. If he's actually playing on the line of scrimmage, I'm not liking Jaheim Bell too much. But let's talk about the next tight end here, Trey Knox out of South Carolina, 6'5", 252 pounds. He had 37 receptions, 312 yards, 2 touchdowns, gave him an 8.4 average per reception. He accelerates really quickly. He possesses good straight line speed. He's got solid ball tracking skills, got good body control, strong hands, really extremely competitive from what I can see on the film. So he's successful at high pointing those balls. At 6'5", decent size for a tight end. He was the national high jump champion in high school, and that translated very well on the field. Extremely physical, making those contested catches really look easy, probably because he's a high jump champion. Hello? He's ran a limited route tree though in college in South Carolina. He doesn't really break a lot of tackles, things he really needs to kind of work on. Look at the next tight end here. We're talking about Bryson Nesbitt out of North Carolina, 6'5", 235 pounds, 41 receptions, 585 yards, and 5 touchdowns. Gave him a 14.3 average per reception. He's got good vision in the open field, good run blocker, nice crisp routes, and can be difficult to cover as he consistently creates separation. He's got reliable hands and can really adjust to bad passes that are being thrown to him, and he's a true catch and run type of threat. If you talk about some negatives here, inconsistent releases off the line of scrimmage. One play one play shows burst, you know, the other one just shows a lack of effort. I don't like it. It just lacks play strength for me. So let's just talk about the next guy here. McAllen Castles out of Tennessee, 6'5", 252 pounds, 22 receptions, 283 yards, 5 touchdowns. Gave him a 12.9 average per reception. He can really box out defenders for the ball. You know, he can transition quickly from a receiver to a runner after the catch, which you like to see. He creates separation with good cuts. He's a violent runner after the catch, often seeking out defenders to hit. He's got soft hands with good ball tracking. He catches the ball well in traffic. Now, I've seen quite a bit of drops, which really concerns me from Castles, right? So he spends a lot of time, hand fighting at the line of scrimmage. I don't like that. He just needs cleaner releases. Like, stop hand fighting. Stop. I ain't gonna say the word. Stop footing around. Get off the ball and go get the football. That's what he needs to do. Castles, he just needs to develop a little bit more. Last guy, but not least, last on my list, and probably a lot higher on a lot of people's radar. Let me explain myself with AJ Barner out of Michigan here. 6'6", 251 pounds, 22 receptions, 249 yards, and a touchdown, 11.3 average per reception. He does have above average acceleration for a tight end, good body control, can really high point the football well. Long arms allows him to play even bigger than really what his size says. So, I mean, he could be playing like a 6'8" guy, you know? That's the kind of arms he has. He's got nice burst off the line of scrimmage. He can fight off press coverage very well, and he's a pretty good blocker. So, but let's talk about some negatives now. He needs to play against zone better, right? He can't find the damn zone. Excuse my French, Jesus. Just find the zone. Sometimes doesn't really sit down where he needs to. He needs to do that. Find the open play in the zone and sit there. Your play speed needs to get better. He just, I don't know, another damn Eeyore out there. Won't wow you with his speed. You know, he seems to be phased completely out of game sometimes. One game this year, he had over 26 yards receiving. That was week 8 against Michigan State. He had 8 catches for 99 yards and a touchdown. Other than that, he had 26 yards or less in each and every game, including what was the national championship. Didn't even catch a single damn pass. Like, come on. He's at the bottom of my list. As always, thank you for watching the video as we keep pumping out multiple videos each and every week to help you dominate your dynasty drafts, to help you dominate your redraft leagues, to help you dominate in keeper leagues. It doesn't matter what you're playing. This channel on the Bayou Bengal Fantasy Network is going to help you win a championship. Guys, hit the subscribe button, really close to 800 subscribers. Hit the like button on the video, really helps out with the algorithm, and leave a comment down below. I like to go back and forth with you guys. What do you agree with? What do you don't agree with? Let me know. Let's have a conversation and let's win together. Guys, see you on the next video. We'll see you guys next time.